legends of such specimens. The
Oh.
embers used for the secret rites of divine blacksmiths. Perhaps you could lend it to me. I've long dreamed of forging divine weapons.
So, I guess I forgot that I never gave good old Andre this item. Welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls, huh? You got this, around Nito? I think it was pretty close to Nito?
Splendid. Splendid. Thank you. Andre of Astora never disappoints. I assure you.
Yes, in fact, I think we might just have two on embers for Andre here. I've kind of been holding out on him, I suppose. The reason that we're going to see Andre over here is that I figured I'd surprise everyone and try out something a little bit different. Something like a Zweihander. Pop that up into +6, and so it's worth noting that only Andre is able to do this. Once we get the ability to make weapons +11, he'll also be the only one who can do this because it's considered a modification rather than just a reinforcement. But once you've done that, you can actually just go there straight. You can actually just upgrade it completely normally, because once it's been ascended up to +10, the same way that our Serpent Greatsword is +10 right now, we don't need any special blacksmiths for that. Anyway, the Ember that we just gave him was the Large Divine Ember, and that is it lets you get divine weapons from +5 up to +10, so if you're doing a divine build, a faith-based build, you can make them even more powerful, which is kind of what makes the Tomb of the Giants worth doing early in a faith-type build. That, and I think there's some good miracles in there. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's been fucking months. How are you? Let's get this up while we have some large shards. +8. Probably good enough? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That person is standing on Andre's anvil. That's a little bit rude, sir or madam. I should have another Ember for him, so I believe if I talk to him again, we will get the Occult Ember talk. So let's do that.
Don't get yourself not.
I've kind of been stockholding them. Stockpiling them? Stockpiling them.
Show me that ember of yours. Well, I've never heard of a black ember. How about leaving that ember with me? I find it strangely fascinating.
So this is the Dark Ember, the one that we found in the Painted World. And if you'll remember the item description, I mean, I'm not sure if I remember the item description, but it basically talks about how this makes occult weapons used to kill the gods themselves. And Andre clearly doesn't quite understand with doesn't know what this is from the way that he says it. He finds it strangely fascinating, but he is curious about it. He is open to it. I kind of like the way that he responds to seeing this strange black ember.
Yes. Well, thank you. This ember really is something special. I'm already under its spell. I sense great potential indeed.
And so there's also I'm already under its spell. It kind of gives the implication that perhaps there's like a corrupting influence on this ember, and that perhaps it's just the allure of power, or perhaps there's something deeper in something like this. But either way, we can now... Andre now has the power. As you've seen, this is the Divine Weapon screen, but we don't have a +5 Divine Weapon, so shrug. And then there's the Occult Weapon screen, which I believe also requires a +5 Divine Weapon. So if we had a +5 Divine Weapon, I think our Butcher's Thingo is only +8 or so right now, +7. Or whatever Holy Weapon I have. I don't remember anything. It's been months. Then we would see that on here, and I believe it takes green titanite chunks to do this, which I think we got a bunch of, but not much to use them for right here. But that's cool. These are both divine embers. Funny enough, this is not the last ember that we give Andre. Andre has by far the most embers that he can use to do shit with. Do you have anything new to say?
Oh, yes. And one other thing about the Darkroot Garden. It is said to house the grave of Sir Artorius, the Abyss Walker. Only of those who ventured into the forest, none has returned.
Fairly certain we've heard that before, but whatever.
I'll be seeing you then. Be careful out there.
Ugh. Andre, you are a good friend. So anyway, now that we have a more powerful Zweihander... Oh, it's a Fire Butcher knife. There we go, our Divine Morning Star is +4. If it was +5, we would have been able to upgrade it to +6. Or to Occult. But this is fine. What I really want to equip here is that Zweihander. Now, we are actually pretty low on equip load right now. I'm not sure what that works out to. You're slightly above that 1/4. I think 29 would be the 1/4. 29 1/4. What happens if I unequip this? 28. Oh, we would actually fast roll with this, wouldn't we? Let's see. That said, if I'm going to be going with the Zweihander, I'd probably take off the Eagle Shield as well. Oh yeah, there we go. That is a fast roll right there. So, this is another build that I used, that I've done quite a hefty run with. Just the two-handed Zweihander build. What you will normally want to equip when you use this is... I'm fairly sure we have it. I might be wrong though. Actually, no, we never went down there, did we? Well... I was gonna go straight to the Duke's Archive, but honestly, since we're right here, I think what I'm gonna go do is show off the lower portion of the Darkroot Garden. We went there very briefly once, just for the sake of getting some stuff, or like just, oh wait, when we beat Havel, we went there briefly, and I've already ruined my intro anyway, so we might as well just go completely different place than I was originally thinking. So, this is a very different build than the one that I've been playing with the shield. It is, as you can see, quite a bit more oomph in this. We can still block with the two-handed thing, but it won't actually get us a huge amount of damage, so we're generally better off dodging unless it's absolutely necessary. Whew! Another good thing about the Zweihander compared to even the Man-Serpent Greatsword is that the range on this thing is ridiculous. I thought I actually whiffed that, but I didn't. Anyway, I think we went in here briefly and saw that there is this whole area over here. As well as the Undead Berg just over there. Always important to look over the textures that are around. But we never actually went deeper down into this, so let's actually go exploring a little bit. At least I don't think we did. God, it's been so long. I'm sorry I haven't updated. Life has kind of sucked for a while now. We actually get into a slightly different area, the Darkroot Basin. It's honestly really tiny. I might be able to get this guy, but I'd rather corral him into this corner. It's much easier to get this... Never mind. I thought he was going to run straight off the cliff, which might actually kill him, but... Anyway, work has sucked for a while now, and I had a weird situation going on at my apartment, so I apologize for lack of updates. Hopefully we'll be able to get a much larger, or basically I'm hoping I'll be able to finish this in the next few months. Let's find out. I never did run an LP that didn't take like a month's break. Falling down over this way, we find the leather armor and longbow, which I believe is one of the starting class's armor. I'm not 100% sure about that, but if you're doing more of a dexterity ranged type build, it's very, very worth just falling down into this area over here, because you'll notice we didn't run into any of the much larger enemies that happen to hang out around here to get this, because a longbow is pretty good even compared to a short bow. Fall down over here. The leather armor isn't too bad too if you just like light armor. Imminent night, they're not wrong. That said, I do want that item down there pretty badly. Be wary of night. Nope. He noticed me. It is, in fact, another Black Knight. If you, just happen to be wandering around here, you might walk into this guy, and it could be a pretty big problem for you. Especially because this dude has reach. He is wielding the Black Knight halberd. I don't know if we've seen that before. But it kind of turns out that... Oops. It kind of turns out that... Ow. Wow, I'm really surprised I didn't miss that. Oh dear. He's actually fairly weak at this stage of the game because I have such powerful armor and such a big sword. The Black Knights do scale up somewhat throughout the game, but not a huge amount. Like, ones you see in later areas are definitely stronger than this one and the one in, like, Undeadburg, but not too much, which I really like, because it gives you that sense of progress as you come back to them and kick their asses like this. But what I really wanted down here was the Grass Crest shield. You might be asking, why do you want a shield? You're two-handing the greatsword, and well, there's a really good reason for that. Old medium metal shield of unknown origin. The Grass Crest is lightly imbued with magic, which slightly speeds stamina recovery. So yes, by holding this shield, we actually, like, just on your back, you don't have to have it properly equipped, you just have to have it in your, no, you have to have it equipped, but because you're two-handing, you don't actually use it. But just by having that, we gain a small boost to our stamina, kind of similar to if we had one of the green leaves that are actually at the top, not the bottom. Good job. These green blossoms, I believe the blossoms give more, but it's certainly worth having this shield just on your back if you're doing a two-handed run. That was a bit of an abrupt musical change there. Never noticed that before. Since we're here, I might as well just light this bonfire. I don't think you can warp to it, but you can warp away from it, so no real reason not to stop here. There are two options that we can go from here. This leads to a completely new area that I think we've been in for about 2 seconds, but I'd rather go back and explore the rest of the Darkroot Garden. There's still a lot to see, after all, including something that's going to be fun in the Dwarf Fortress sense. Let's go check it out. This is sort of a... I might call it a transitionary area, but there's actually a decent amount of content in it. The place that bonfire leads to is definitely a transitionary... I have no fucking clue what you would call it, but, like, there isn't too much in that other area over there, so I'm not really in any big hurry to show it off. Over here, there's actually a ton of items and even a bit of a scary enemy. And I'm not just talking about these crystal golems, who seem to be having pathfinding problems. Can I hit you from here? Oh dear. Yeah. Boy, he is dead set. Okay, I can hit him from up here. This is good. I also do a ton of damage to these guys. That Zweihander is a good decision. is a bit of a cheesy way to do this, but then again, coming in here with a weapon like this is also a bit of a cheesy way to do this. I just have to be careful that I don't, like, fall off this ledge, because then it's a fair fight, and given the circumstances of the area, it's actually not a fair fight. Oh dear. Kill this guy quick. Because you may have heard some strange noises coming from over there. Run and grab this. Soul of a Nameless Soldier. Not great, but oh god. There is something shooting artillery at us. It appears to be water-based. Wow! Yeah, damn, I did not expect this thing to be this useful. Anyway, if we go up here, we will actually get back to Havel's room, just to, you know, complete this circuit here and help finish up your mental map. This is the room we fought Havel in. And this is the door we unlocked. We, like I said, very briefly saw the Darkroot Basin, but then I ran away because I was scared of these apparently harmless giant crystal things. That said, we are unfortunately going to have to start making our way towards whatever is firing that at us. It's important to use the trees as cover here, because they will block these spells, but only if they hit them directly. Good news, they do friendly fire. That's useful to know. Pop that guy. You'll notice they drop blue Titanite chunks, which are the magic increasing Titanite chunks. It's kind of strange to see golems like this around here, I would say. Obviously, we've never seen anything like them, so we don't really know where they might come from or anything like that. By the way, the hitbox on those things is bullshit, and we actually discover that the thing firing them is a Hydra. Pretty fucked up, if you ask me. Alright, unfortunately there is water here. That said, once you get in close, the Hydra actually starts attacking like this. And importantly, this is a completely set pattern. So if you find a spot and manage to start cutting off heads, you will actually end up in a more or less safe place. Oh, I totally hit one of them there. There we go. As might be obvious. Oh god. Okay, he missed me there. As might be obvious, the way to beat the Hydra here is actually to cut its heads off. Now, unfortunately, with this ring that we have, or because we don't have the ring for this, the Rusted Iron Ring equipped, getting over to these heads is a bit difficult. But because we have this ring, or because our weapon is so ridiculously overpowered for this area, one swing is generally enough to kill it. So yeah, you'll notice that every one of these heads goes to a set place, which unfortunately means that this guy over here, who is like the last head on this Hydra, always sort of jukes way left, and getting him can be pretty difficult, especially if you notice there's a cliff here. You can't actually run straight up to this Hydra and start hacking at its body. You will fall into the water and you will die. So you sort of have to approach this carefully. Especially because the Hydra will tend to follow you and will basically turn its body really awkwardly. I think the play here might be to equip the Rusted Iron Ring as this thing whiffs at me. Yeah, once you take out most of the heads, it really loses a bit of its bite. Hop on this Rusted Iron Ring. so that we can properly miss it completely. Alternatively, we just equip a bow and shoot it to death, but you know. I have to be really careful that I don't run off here. In fact, I think I'm gonna do that. Rusted iron ring, still useful, but in this particular case, I have always found this one head to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Oops. God, it moves its head so fucking much. I don't even know how much damage I'm doing to it, unfortunately. Oh, there it goes. Thank God. I thought that was going to take a while. So, for killing this thing, in the most awkward way possible, we get a dragon scale and the dusk crown ring. The dragon scale, as I believe we found a few before now, is an upgrade item. Yep, we have a second one. Yeah, we found one down in Blighttown, if you recall. So, Hydras drop these things. Good to know. There's other ones. And then we got a Dusk Crown Ring, which grants extra sorcery castings, but halves HP. So, this could be really useful if you're doing a super overpowered caster build, where nothing's going to get close to you anyway, so what does it matter if it does extra damage? Or what does it matter if you have half your HP? But for us, who have been, you know... Leanne's a bit of a heathen, bit of a non-magical, bit of a simpleton maybe? I don't know. She, isn't really a fan of this. That said, let's read about it. Simpleton? Why did I say that? Anyway, this magic crown-shaped ring was granted to Princess Dusk of Ulasil upon her birth. The ring stone allows its wearer to cast additional sorceries, but at the cost of 1/2 of HP. I guess the Griggs and Logan. Boy, you have not played this game in forever. I guess Griggs and Logan might think you're something of a simpleton, but that's their fucking fault. Either way, we hear about Princess Dusk of Ulasil, and I think there might have been like a mention of Ulasil before now, but that's been about it. Also worth noting that this corpse had the Knight set, which I think was the class that we started as. Do we have 2 sets of Knight armor? No, I think we might have picked Warrior. Either way, the Knight set is what the Knight class starts with, so... This is where you can complete your set, should you be so inclined. Anyway, the Hydra is sort of the big set piece of Darkroot Basin, because it's actually a lot smaller than you would originally suspect. We come over this way, and it's important to remember that there's still a giant cliff face over there, so you gotta be really careful. And there are 2 ways that we can go from here. One is this surprisingly well-hidden ladder, which goes back up into Darkroot Garden. Is there anything over here? I always forget. Doesn't look it. And then the other is to follow this little lake, at least as far as we can go, because there's a bit of a cliff wall over there, and just a bit of a narrow path over this way. This is actually an area that you can go to much earlier. I mean, obviously, given how much I'm jumping it. But the Hydra, with its giant projectiles, can make fighting that big guy really, really difficult. Now, interestingly, there is actually nothing over here. And that's probably because I fucked with some triggers and did this area later than I probably could have. Sorrow ahead. Fair enough statement. So, Normally there would actually be something here, but the DLC kind of changed how that worked in the original game. Either way, I believe we've seen all that I care to see about the Darkroot Basin for now. And we are gonna warp back to the bonfire. Oops. And head out to where I originally wanted to go, since we've got our crest shield now.